We don't hit the smoke shop, Cole. They give you like a lighter every time you buy some shit. And since we went in there 2 or 3 times, we ended up with like hella lighters because they gave each of us one. Which,
Right.
for the record,
And
I maintain I only took 2.
I was left with none.
I only took 2. Look, regardless of whatever happened,
the other 2.
I was gonna say regardless of what happened, I made it home with 2. But
One that he found on the floor
those
at a park.
the bones. What's it called? Bone saw looking ass. Bone lover.
He found a lighter that said bone lover or something like that, and I was like, it's the bone saw.
No, it's literally like the cringiest shit you could possibly see on a lighter. We found it underneath a picnic table at a park.
4 minutes of playtime.
Exactly, bro. But literally, these lighters, if you move the little knob lever thing, if you put it all the way to the side, literally the flame would be like that tall, dude.
Yeah.
It shows like a flamethrower.
You can like lift it and like keep turning it multiple times. Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah, no, this is a true story, swear to God. My mom's old office assistant used to like chain smoker cigarettes and shit. So they always go, like, her and her husband always stop by this gas station that's like the closest to their house, and they give you a lighter just like that, those shitty shit on lighters. Every time you bought a pack of cigarettes, someone they'd give you one with a little sticker on it, said Jack's Corner with a number on it type beat. Anyway, so she had a fucking drawer full of them, like literally 20, 30 of these motherfuckers in the top drawer of her desk. And at that point, the office was in the basement of my house. So I'm down there one night fucking around and take my Joe, my brother Joe and I take a couple of these lighters and just, do that thing where you can make them like crack lighters and like, the flame shoots up super high.
Yeah.
And just put them back in the drawer. And then like a year later, she grabs one of those and goes out to light a cigarette and fucking burns part of her bangs and her eyebrows off. I'm not joking.
No
dude.
shot.
Yeah, she
ruined her.
You created a flamethrower, bro. You just melted that bitch.
It was supposed to be funny, but she literally was just like, like leaned into it, like
just lights her shit on fire.
That's actually crazy. Her eyebrows.
Can you imagine?
I mean, it only got her in like one spot, but yeah.
Still though, can you imagine like you trying to go? Yeah, right, bro. You turn her into Two-Face. You just trying to relax, smoke a little after a long day at work, go outside, you deep sighing, looking at the moon and shit. Ah, man. Looking up and then just fucking just torch your whole shit. My God. Anyway, what's up? What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Wavelengths podcast. This is episode 10 or 11 or 12 or 14 or 11, however many of these we've done. But it's 2021.
2021.
First one of the new year, so we want to welcome y'all back, man. It's been a minute since we hollered at y'all, so what up? I'm back here with the usual co-hosts, best hair in Halo, whatever the fuck it is that we started off saying on the earlier episodes. I'm Clay, joined as usual by Cole and Justin. What's up, fellas?
What's up, everybody?
But we're back, like we said, first time since the new year, so we hope all y'all had a good holiday season, Christmas, whatever you celebrate, New Year. Hope everybody was able to celebrate at least a little bit, pandemic conscious, all that shit. But yeah, we gonna chop it up with y'all here for a few minutes.
Yeah, talk about, I guess, what's happened since the last episode. There's nothing really Halo related to talk about. There's no developments in that world, so
There probably won't be for a minute, but
yeah, and that's all right. I'm still a little pissed by the delay, in case anybody's wondering, but
same.
It is what it is.
Can't do shit about it.
It's easier to be less pissed at this point now that we're a little separated from it. But I'm still pissed.
Yeah, definitely just a little bit less bitter. But if you ask me point blank, I ain't gonna lie to you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I'd definitely way rather be playing the game now. But I support the decision and whatnot to delay it.
Facts. Yeah.
So it's better in the long run.
Hopefully that means the game's gonna be flames. All right. And if it isn't,
2021 should officially be the year that Infinite comes out, and we're in it now.
That's what I'm saying. We should figure out
this year should be the year.
Whether it's all just a sick joke or not.
Yeah. You're getting fucking blue walled.
Yeah, we're literally just getting. It's just we're getting trolled long term. But no, yeah. So the game's supposed to come out today, or not today? Excuse me. Jeez, I wish.
That would be lit, dude.
This year, and
I gotta go to GameStop, dude. I'm gonna miss the midnight release.
I think we mentioned this in the last episode too, but we originally made this podcast in anticipation of Infinite's release. We are hoping
I got delayed twice.
that we can help grow our platforms and our channels more whenever Infinite comes out, because there should be more eyes on Halo. And you know us, we're going to be grinding Halo content. So hopefully should be more people that are interested in our stuff. And we wanted to kind of get our podcast kind of off the ground, just get some installments in there, kind of just get, we can kind of work out how we want to do it, kind of get in the flow of it. So
Get used to
when
the
Infinite drops,
process.
and we can hopefully increase our audience. We really would like to be regular podcasters.
Come with a more
and-
polished product. All
Yeah,
that.
exactly. So here we are. So in a sense, we have more time to polish our podcast product. So that's kind of good, I guess.
Thanks.
But also, yeah, we have a whole other year of this podcast to fill in without Infinite stuff to talk about. Now, this podcast was never supposed to exclusively be a Halo podcast, but obviously that will be
Us
a
being
lot of the
Halo
topics
guys. Yeah.
that we are going to talk about. But we
It's
want to
just
at least try to put out a podcast a month. That doesn't guarantee it's going to happen, because there's a lot of variables that goes into this.
It's harder than
all
you would
busy
think to
news.
get all three of us in the same Discord call. Actually,
Yep.
This is literally the first time the three of us have chilled in a call. I think since the new year. I think it's been since,
It's been
Yeah.
we have not all three of us been in a call in a hot minute.
it's been a
um,
minute.
Yeah, I think the last time we probably were was probably the last podcast, which was
Right.
about a month ago.
Yeah.
That
Like-
sounds right, and that's the other thing too. It's definitely easier to record a podcast when we have a good excuse. Like Infinite got announced that it's being delayed. This is a great topic, so we can,
Right. It's
you know,
it's easier
'cause-
to jump on some shit like that as opposed to in certain situations where it'd be like, all right, we got to make a fucking podcast. Just fire the shit
All
up
right,
and we're gonna
it's
talk about something.
2021. We got to make a podcast. Let's fire this shit up and talk about something.
Right. Which is definitely
Yeah.
not what we're doing today.
It's also just kind of hard because like if we do a podcast like every week, right now it's difficult because the fuck are we going to talk about? Like it's already
Exactly.
hard enough that like we don't have any news, but it's also like you're also in a pandemic, so
Right. It's
not like,
literally
hey, I did this crazy thing the other day. I went out.
Right.
It's like can't really do that. So
it's
it kind of
literally
gives us time to like build our own stories and shit like that about like what we want to tell each other. Like literally before the podcast, we're like, okay, don't say anything.
yeah,
Like,
yep.
try to save that shit.
yeah.
Like unless like
100%.
it's some shit that can't be said on the podcast. like,
Right. We gonna save the good shit.
don't
Speaking
For the
of which,
podcast.
speaking of non-COVID conscious traveling, Clay recently made a trip over
Hell
to
yeah.
Houston to hang out with Justin for about a week in Justin's new apartment, which you can see in the background.
which I
Yeah,
am in.
Justin
It's a
got his
little
own
bit of a mess
place,
right
man.
now.
But
I was not in
'cause I
attendance,
just-
but I believe there are some stories that you guys would like to share with me that I have not heard yet. And this is
Okay.
kind of our idea for the podcast right now. So
Yeah,
First off,
this is what we're rolling with
First
so far.
off, I have to settle something in the comments section. I believe I'm the last in the Mohicans on this, but I believe some pulp is good.
oh my
think
god,
pulp and
dude,
orange
please.
juice It's a
Look,
good thing.
I am glad we're going to talk about this. Actually, this
Jesus
is a great.
Christ.
topic.
Hold on,
Yeah.
you guys go
Before we get to any of this Texas shit, which for the record, Justin's a bitch, all right? However, first night I get there, Justin's going grocery shopping. He does all this shit. I bought all this and this and this. And we stocked in the kitchen. We got hella food. He got the hot dogs cold because he knows the strats. What
You
we
get
was
the double
doing.
mustard?
Nah, he
I
didn't.
did
He
not
didn't
get
get.
the
He didn't get the
double
twin
mustard.
musties.
Bro, you want to hear some shit? Guess what I had for dinner?
The twin musties.
I had the twin mustard.
Ah!
Oh
That
my
is
God.
that is broke bitch CX house food right there.
That's right.
That is some good shit, man. Cole and I, whenever we had 50 cents to our names, literally come into the house.
Dude, you
Two
want
hot dogs
I don't know if
each.
I told you this. I don't know if I told you this story. It's funny as shit though. The other week I was making hot dogs for dinner. Sometimes my wife and I grab hot dogs. It's really easy. You know, you throw them shits in the
They are
skillet,
super
then
easy.
you got some hot dogs.
Yeah.
Great. It's an easy dinner. That's what we did tonight. So we keep them in the fridge, whatever. So I'm making hot dogs for us real quick. Now my wife doesn't like mustard at all, so she does like ketchup. Right, that's it. So
Right.
I like to put the condiments in the bun. I'll open up the bun, put the condiments in it while the hot dogs are cooking. Then when they're done, I just put them shits in there. Then I eat them, you know? So I used to do this. I've always done it that way. And when Clay and I were scratching, picking change out the couch to get food back in the old house,
Get a $5
We
cookout
sometimes have
tray,
hot
put half of it
dogs
in the
if we're
fridge and eat
lucky.
it later. 2 meals.
dude, we used to make. Yeah, we did that a lot. 2 meals out of a $5 cookout tray. Yeah, or I would make hot dogs and I'd just make. If you're making 2 hot dogs, you can make 4 hot dogs. It's no extra work. So I'd make them for Clay. Now Clay and I will both eat. Now this is our thing, the twin musties, but you put yellow mustard and spicy brown mustard in there. It happened as an accident one time. Shit's fire. Do it. I don't know why it's better. It just is. Trust.
Don't know.
I did it
that shit's
unironically
flames.
for dinner tonight. Like I reached for both those condiments because that's the way I like it. Anyways, so I got really in the routine of doing this mustard on all 4 of these buns and all this. And anyways, I was making hot dogs the other night for my wife and I just dressed up 4 buns with mustard, not thinking
Loaded
about it.
her shit up.
And we didn't have any extra fucking buns because it was the last 4 buns.
This man.
Made her eat the twin mustards.
Dude, I was like scraping mustard out these buns.
Oh my god.
Just like trying to get it and then I the ketchup, dude. Afterwards, I was like,
yeah, just it in there. Yeah.
She was like,
like
she was like, "Yo, what are we having for dinner?" You're like, yeah, hot dogs and shit. And then she was like, "Oh, word, yeah. Don't forget to not put mustard on my shit." And he's like, "Yeah, sure."
I made that joke tonight because I was like, "You want yours with mustard, right?" And I still almost did it reflexively. I got used to doing that shit.
That shit is flames, man. It is.
Dude, trust. If you guys if you can hang with the mustard and you like that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you gotta like mustard.
Time. Yeah, I mean, if you don't like mustard, you're not gonna like it. But
Prerequisite.
But
just a little bit.
But yeah, back to the Houston shit real quick.
Yeah, sorry.
I literally walked into Justin's place first night. We in there building furniture and shit because that's how I like to spend my vacations.
All right, hold up. Hold up. All right, so I was supposed to move in the Tuesday before Clay got there. That's what was supposed to happen.
Yep.
And then they call me on Friday. They go, "Hey, your apartment's not gonna be ready. And it won't be ready for another 2 weeks. We can move you into another apartment, and we'll just take 4 days off, or we'll give you 4 days rent off. I think they said they prorated or whatever. So I get those 4 days." But the entire time, they're like, "Well, if we can get it early, we'll give it to you." I'm there every day, 5 o'clock or 4:30. Just, "Hey, can I get my key? Hey, can I get my key? Can I get my key? Can I get my key?" And they're like, "What's the rush? What's the rush?" I'm I kind of have something to do work-wise. I lied because I was
of course.
yeah, my friend's coming over.
What do you mean? What's the rush? You told me I can move in at this date, and now you're telling me I can't. And I have made arrangements to live in this place that you told me I was gonna get to live in. That's
right, but also, how you gonna say what's the rush when we're talking about living space?
That's what I mean.
Right? How
you don't know? What if my lease ended on Tuesday at the other place, and now I gotta fucking live here?
Right?
How do they know what your situation is?
Exactly.
They don't. Why that? Yeah,
well,
that's
they
why.
did see that.
What if you're newly divorced? What if your wife handed you the papers and was like, "Yeah, I'm fucking the next door neighbor. See ya." What are you gonna do?
And the milkman.
And the milkman.
So that's why Clay had to build furniture.
Yes.
Like this desk that I'm on right now.
And the TV stand and the bed
and the TV stand.
No, I didn't do it. I was just part of the team that did it.
We were part of it. It was all teamwork, and it all came out looking really nice. We got the recliner in here. The recliner fits in a really nice spot. It's pretty cozy now.
It's a little all right. Look, all that IKEA furniture.
There's a piece of furniture in my apartment that we got here for free off Facebook Marketplace when we moved here, and it was free for a fucking reason because it was the heaviest piece of goddamn shit I've ever picked up in my life, and it's not ever leaving.
Get it up to that goddamn
We already told
second floor.
Told the fucking landlord. She came over and was like, well, see that? I'm never leaving. That's staying there. She was like, okay. I'm like, great. I'm not leaving. I'm not bringing it out of here.
Yeah.
Fuck that, dude.
Yeah, we had a
marble top or something like that.
No, just a big ass wooden cabinet thing.
Yeah, we had one of those. So when our house was getting remodeled last year, we literally had to carry the dresser and this old ass from the 90s heavy ass wood shit, and we had to carry it from my room down to the bonus room and shit. And literally after me and my dad did it, we were like, yeah, this is just gonna stay here forever. I don't care. We're not doing that shit again.
They built those shits to survive nukes back then.
Facts, dude.
They're like, yeah, if the bomb's about to go off, just get in your fucking dresser. You'll be fine.
Just hop in there and shit.
Indiana Jones, that refrigerator shit. Same
Facts,
vibe.
dude. When the sirens go off, hit the dresser. That's right.
Did they ever make for us? I mean, I guess there's no accurate way to do an experiment with the whole refrigerator test. Besides the idea that the concussion would probably kill you, would that work?
No, I've
know.
watched several know-it-all YouTube videos about that actually, and each of these motherfuckers were like, "Nah, that guy would have been dead."
Okay, cool. I'm pretty sure you can't. That
Well,
wouldn't work.
I mean, plus also forgetting like the radiation and the extreme heat and like all that shit, he got tossed like a mile.
Well, that's what I mean. The concussion would kill you.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, there's no.
His ass would have been dead anyway.
I was watching the scene. I was watching a scene from Civil War yesterday, and it's the part where it's the first scene where they're fighting homeboy who got his face
Crossbones?
smashed up, Crossbones, and Crossbones throws Romanov or Scarlett Johansson down into the tank, and he drops a nade in there with two dudes in the tank.
Yep.
She like knocks the one guy out and then grabs the other dude and shields herself, and the grenade explodes and it, like the doors open of the truck and she like flies out of it, and like all the debris or all the shrapnel would have hit the other guy and all that shit. But the concussion would kill you instantly.
Right. Plus,
I don't know how we
it
got on
blew
this
her
on a
out of that
podcast.
tank with
But
such
that's what
force that the
it would
doors
kill-
blew open.
But that's the point, yeah.
Her
Because the
suit
concussion
actually
blew the
seems
doors
very-
open, your body would not handle that. You would
Right.
literally just like.
And
Yeah.
she was just like, and got up and
she
kept
was
moving.
Just like, it's like
She was like, "Ow."
Yeah, which is fine if you're Captain America, but she's not. She's a
Right.
normal human in the like MCU.
It's like the
whole
same
thing, is
shit.
that she's a normal human.
Right.
And like she's just very skilled. It's like, yeah, but you ain't built different.
Right.
Real different like that.
Bro, but it's literally it's like the same shit. You guys remember in Winter Soldier when Falcon's fighting Crossbones like inside the shield building, and then the helicarrier crashes into the building's fucking collapsing and shit, and he's got to like jump out of the window and like land on the helicopter. Remember Nick Fury like misses the window and he jumps and he falls like 13 floors and shit. And he was like, "I told you, like, the 48th floor and shit."
Yeah, I know.
But literally, this fool fell, like, 20 floors, hit the side of the helicopter, and just was like, ugh. Normal-ass dude.
Fucking the Minecraft Steve.
Yeah, dude. He hit the shit and went, ooh.
Yeah, that's about right.
So anyway,
Hearts away.
orange juice with pulp. Fucking shit.
Orange juice. No, this shit's fire. And then here's the thing. Here's the thing that pisses me off the most. Clay goes over there and he says, "I never said that." Hold on, let me pull up the actual quote.
You gonna butcher my quote? Don't you do it?
Let me get your actual quote. Let me quote the man. Let me fucking quote the man.
Pissed me off, bro. We just built all that furniture, and he was like, "Yeah, man, the fridge is stocked. We got this, and that. We got orange juice." And I was like, "Oh hell yeah, man! I fuck with some orange juice, right? Orange juice is my shit." Went over to the thing before I could even reach the fridge. Justin was like, "Oh, but it's got pulp in it." I turned around, and I was like, "Bitch."
I have never once drank a liquid and wished that there could be more shit in there. Is what he said.
Because why?
This motherfucker. Here's the funnier part. So,
Whatever.
We go throughout our days. We're getting dope food in the Houston area. And I'm like, you know what, Clay? We're gonna go get this thing called Brett's Barbecue.
This is wrong. I'm gonna call you on it.
It's an amazing barbecue place. If you're in the Houston area, in the Katy area, you should definitely look it up. We ate some fire ass.
We did eat a lot of bomb ass food in Houston. There's a lot of good ass food.
And Cole, you may know about these like Vietnamese like tea houses, where it has like the green tea and shit like that. And you can mix the green tea with like, you can have like tapioca or like boba. You can mix it with milk, and it makes these all different kinds of drinks. Well, I only like the fruit ones, like just fucking mango green tea or mango strawberry green tea.
Mango
That's what
fucking
we got.
Snapple.
And Clay, I was like, "Clay, you want to try this?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure." And there was shit at the bottom.
All type of
They
little
had these
fruity
little-
shit.
little jelly fruity things. And Clay, I'm like, "Look, if you don't want it, you can just give it to Kayla. It's fine." And this motherfucker takes a sip and he goes, I'm like, "You like that shit?" "No, I don't like it." I was like, "It's got shit in the bottom."
I could not let go of my pride though. I never once admitted. I was like, "Fuck you, get out of my face with that shit. This shit is trash."
So here's my experience.
But it was really good.
Basically, I didn't really fuck with orange juice like that when I was a kid. I was like, it's okay. Didn't really drink it.
Sure.
And
Apple juice guy.
at some
if I'm being
point, yeah,
honest.
I was more of an
Same.
apple juice guy. And
Got some
at
orange
some
juice
point,
'cause it's hot.
I mean, I like orange juice more now, but I started warming up to it, and I never had pulp, but I knew what it was, you know, and people were always like, ew, oh my God, like, oh my, you know, people would have you think that, you know what, we're just going to leave it there. People would have you think you're going to,
Look at him.
no, I just, yeah. Look, man, I finally had it. Wasn't that bad. And I think it's an exaggeration that people have that like pulp in orange juice is completely undrinkable. That's how I feel.
It's not undrinkable.
I think it just makes it a little bit more tangy. How about you?
However,
I have no problem with it. I honestly like. I'm not
You're
gonna
good.
say like if I
don't
have
like
an
a lot
option
of
between the
pulp.
two. I'm like honestly, it depends on the day. I might
Yeah.
grab either one.
I like
Some pulp.
some pulp.
I just
Some
can't.
would say little pulp.
Little pulp.
Jesus. See, look, I will drink it. All right, I will drink it. But if given the option, I am an American citizen with United States dollars in my pocket, and if I get to choose what kind of orange juice I have, I'm gonna get the non-shit kind.
Dude, I had
The one
I had
with the no
conversation
shit in
with
there.
Kayla and Anthony, and they're like, "Yeah, no, we fuck with no pulp." And then they come over
Oh my
one
God.
night, and they came over with a jug of fucking orange juice with no pulp.
They brought
And
one.
I never wanted to kick someone out of my house faster in my fucking life.
No, the first shit Justin
was
said.
almost on site.
The first shit
Dude,
Justin
Clay
said.
the next day. Go ahead.
The first shit
It
Justin
was
said
almost
was,
on site.
"Clay, you are not allowed to have any of that."
Yeah.
They walked in and he said, "You cannot."
And then, dude, so everything goes down, like we have a good time, and then the next day comes around, or the next morning comes around, and I'm making breakfast, and Clay goes, "Hey, yo, they got any of that orange juice with the no pulp?" And I was like, "No, I told them to take it home." And he's like, "You're a bitch. I hope you know you're a bitch."
So we spent the
I'm
entirety
not having that shit in my fridge or in my house.
the entirety
right, dude.
of the time that I spent in Houston, we just spent at Justin's place arguing over orange juice and shit.
Pulp gang,
Yeah.
dude, pull up.
Pulp
Pull
gang.
up, bro.
I've never been more offended in my life.
We got locked out of my apartment, which that was pretty sick.
We did, dude. Justin's got a dope little balcony off the side of his place, right? So we were like, "Oh shit." We walked out there checking out the balcony and shit. First or the second time we walked out there, door clicked behind us, like closed it normally, didn't lock it, and the door locked itself behind us.
Yep.
Literally, we were standing out there and shit, and I can't tell the full story. However, we got locked out of that bitch and had to call somebody, and this poor dude had to come rescue Justin and I. These fucking nerds, gamers sitting outside the
He
apartment.
was like, no, it was sad because I was like, fuck, it's locked. And so I called the maintenance guy, or I called like the front office, and I'm like, so the story goes is that this lady, like, I'm talking to my leasing lady, the one who's like, well, you in a hurry to rush for, or hurry to fucking move for, and she's like, she tells me the story. She's like, yeah, like we've had that happen before. They had to get a ladder because the lady got locked out on her third story, and they had to break her window to get in. Da 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 da. She goes, okay, well, we'll send someone out to fix it tomorrow, and I'll put it on your record, and blah blah blah. And I go, so you're sending someone to get me into my apartment, right? She goes, oh my god, you're locked out right now. I go, yes, bitch. Why else would I be
Right.
calling you?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna call you. I'm gonna call the maintenance people. Are you kidding me? And then I get off the phone with her after I'm like, Clay's like, someone's coming, right? I'm like, yeah. And I look into my apartment. I go, deadlock is the deadbolt is on. It's on. There's no way he's getting in through the front door because there's a lock on the other side has a key to it, and there's a lock above that you lock whenever you're inside your house. So if someone tries to break in, they have a harder time because that top lock is still there, and you can't unlock it from the other side.
I think people know what a deadbolt is, Justin.
Just in
Respect.
case, Clay didn't know what a 4-bar was, so I don't want to hear it. There's a bar
I'm
on
from
your
the
sliding door
suburbs.
that you put down so that people can't break into your sliding door. It's like another deadbolt, but for your sliding door. And Clay was like, I've never seen that shit in my life. And I was
No,
like,
I
"You've
was
never
trying
been
to open the door.
told." You never-
I was trying to open the door.
Like, bro, bro, just pop up the fucking bar. And he goes, how do you get?
I will not stand for this slander. All right. Never once had a door like that. But so the deadbolt was closed, right? We were straight up locked out of that bitch. And see, the thing is, earlier that day, Justin and I had a whole ass conversation about why I double check shit and why I'm not gonna be the reason why somebody's house gets broken into. He like double checked with me. He was like, because we left earlier that day. He was like, "You locked the shit, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I double locked the shit because I was like, "Ain't nobody breaking in this bitch." Double checking my shit, all proud of myself, and then literally not 5 minutes later, we locked out of the shit. And then Justin looks through the window and he was like, "Fuck, the deadbolt's bolted, isn't it?" And I was like, "Yeah, is that a problem?" And he was like, literally like, "Yeah, we can't get in." And I was like, "Shit, dude, I wonder who did that shit." I was like,
So this guy straight up, he comes up, he walked up to the front door. I was like, nah, you're not gonna do that. And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, deadbolt's on. He's like,
break out his fucking toolkit.
Balcony, and he jiggles the door like me and Clay were. I was like, yeah, that's not gonna work. And he takes his fucking screwdriver and bends the rails on my shit, and then like pries it open. And yeah, anytime I go outside, I just keep the door open because I'm not gonna do that shit.
Yeah,
That's way around that problem for sure.
we gonna be nice to that guy because he knows how to get in.
I had some basically an identical story of like I got this cool deck and then we went out on the deck and then the door was locked behind us and then I called. This is like day one, I'm telling you. So I called landlord. I'm like, "Hey, you locked yourselves out. What's good?" I was like, "You think you can come help us in?" She was like, "No, you're gonna have to call. You're gonna have to call a locksmith."
No.
I was like, "Are you?" I literally was like, "Are you serious?" Like, she was like, "Yeah." She was like, "Oh, I can't unlock the door." Like, do you have a fucking key?
Right? Wait, what?
Yeah. Anyway, so I called that locksmith, and I had to pay for it. It sucked.
Yeah.
And I had to do that again already since then. So real careful now.
Twice.
Real careful.
And don't begin locked out of your shit, especially living on that second floor.
We had a lot of good times. We went to the Space Center.
We did. That shit was
the worst possible time.
Yeah.
Ever.
Oh my god. So I was
literally. It was Saturday, beautiful day. We had a bunch of stuff to do. We
sunny,
didn't end up making it to the Space Center.
Mid-50s nice maybe.
Cool. It was great.
Good day.
And then like we're like, oh, we'll just go tomorrow. We'll be fine. It's literally freezing rain and it's fucking raining sideways.
Yeah, no, it was like Seattle weather in that bitch. It was bad, dude.
To get to attractions, you have to take like a cart there.
Like one of those like movie trams.
Yeah.
You get on a Disney World and shit.
Whatever the weather is outside, is you're feeling that shit. So we have to sit. Like this. I'm wearing shorts
Wet
and a long
ass.
sleeve, and I'm freezing.
No, and the seats were soaked,
up my ass.
and it was raining.
It was awful.
I was wearing light colored jeans, and my ass was completely soaked. It was a tough scene.
Hypothermia out there.
Right. Plus,
we got to see a big ass cool spaceship.
Yeah, we got to see. They have like the trial shuttle there, and they have one of the Saturn V rockets and shit. And there's like the rocket garden and all that stuff. It's cool stuff. It's not as big as the Kennedy Space Center in Florida, but it's still pretty cool. Obviously, that's where like mission control and shit is. It was a good ass time, man. We did all that shit. And then at the end of the week, I missed my flight and got to stay an extra day. So it was good stuff.
And it's really everyone's fault.
It was a collective fuck up. All right.
Yeah.
I've been
the
using.
only time I have like missed a flight or been responsible for missing a flight was when I was driving Jess back to the airport. We were dating and we got in a car accident, and then she got to stay an extra night, which was only kind of cool because most of that shit was dealing with a car accident.
Yep.
So,
isn't that whenever you got into that stupid pileup where it was like 4 or 5 cars or something like that?
It was eight cars, on the interstate.
Damn.
I was car number 3. And it was scary as shit.
I imagine.
That's not a whole story we got to tell right now, but maybe at some point, because there's a lot. But I was fine. Thankfully, just some bad whiplash. But other than that, very fortunate. My car was totaled. But you know,
Rip in peace.
yeah, we did
man.
not make it to the flight. We were one exit. We were literally like I could see the exit to the airport. Like we're
That is-
like close to the ramp, and
That
it's
is
like
a tragedy.
yeah.
We got me and my family went to San Antonio a few years ago to go do all the normal, typical San Antonio shit. Did it over fall break 1 year. And we literally, me and my mom, my brother flew in, got to the airport, did all the shit, got off the plane, went and rented a car, whatever. Went and got some food and shit, pulling out of the drive-thru. Just got to San Antonio, been on the ground 25 minutes, pulled out of the drive-thru of this place we just got food at, T-boned. BAM! Rocked our shit. Lady just pulled right out, nailed our shit, and we had to deal with that the whole last week in San Antonio. So, yeah, I ended up, like, I use my Southwest app to, like, check in for my flights and get my boarding pass and shit, right? Because I'd be flying Southwest usually, and so I checked in day before my flight, and for the past, like, 3 days leading up to my flight home, it was like, we changed the departure time for your flight. It's 30 minutes later than it was originally. Because whatever, they're delaying shit all the time. So it literally, both the boarding and the departure time were like, it's half an hour later than it was. So we were like, alright, word, whatever, we just got an extra half an hour. So the day that we were going to leave, we got up, did all the shit, whatever. It was a struggle because I suck at getting up in the morning. But we finally got out and did all this shit, and then we had to go do this, and then we had to go do that and shit, and then we had to go and show up, and finally we got to the airport, and my flight had already left half an hour ago.
Let me preface this with, I love my girlfriend. I love her a lot. She's great. She got Clay she got Clay a nice gift. And
yes, she did.
You know, she was very hospitable.
Yes.
To my friend.
Kayla's the homie.
This bitch sucks at planning stuff. She can't be on time for a goddamn thing.
I wasn't going to out nobody on the podcast.
I love her to death. But I told her the night before, because we had friends hang out. And before she had gotten there, the day before that happened. So it was Friday. So on Thursday, I told her, make sure you bring a change of clothes so that I can give you the spare key to my place. And then you can just go to work from my place, because I have to take Clay to the airport that day. And I'm just taking Clay to the airport. And I told Clay the night before we were going to sleep. I was like, hey man, I'm waking up at 8:30. It was like, yeah, I'm waking up at 8:30. You know, just make sure that you're awake.
Yep.
Like, you make sure that you're good. He's like, yeah, I've done this before. I got this. It's fine.
Okay.
Motherfucker wakes up.
Okay.
I wake up, and this fool is just on the couch, dead asleep. And I'm like, he's got this. He's got this. And so I come out of the bathroom. Clay, wake up. Clay, wake up. And then he gets up. But yeah, I ended up having to take Kayla to work. I was like, hey, we got to hurry up because I got to take Kayla to work. And that's why we were late.
Yeah, but I delayed about an extra like 15 or 20 minutes, assuming that I had extra time on the clock, when in fact I did not. So we did that shit, and we had to take our detour, and then we got to the airport finally, and Justin's trying to get me there and shit.
Dude, I'm zooming through traffic trying to get Clay there on time. Like, I'm like counting the minutes I'm shaving off. I'm bobbing and weaving. At one point, I'm like really close to the wall and going at a pretty like fast speed, and that terrifies me.
Driver shit.
On some baby
driver shit. That's right. He was trying to get me to the airport.
And I shave off like 3 or 4 minutes of time, and I'm like, go make your flight. I literally hop out of the car, open up the shit, start putting his shit on him. I'm like, go.
It was like the end of a movie, bro. This shit was crazy.
Clay, I was, hindsight, I should have just stayed there until I fucking found out that he was going to make it on his flight. Tell him what happened whenever he went through that fucking...
So my flight, unbeknownst to me, they put that shit, like they said it's going to leave half an hour later, right? So they put all that shit, said it was delayed, but then my flight ended up departing at the time it originally said it was going to. So by the time we had gotten to the airport, shit was already gone by like 20 minutes. And so my app either told me the wrong shit or somebody messed up. But then
And
I go
then-
through security. I've got TSA pre-check because my family be flying a lot. Which, if you have TSA pre-check, you don't have to take off your shoes. You don't have to take like your laptop out of your bag, any of that shit, right? And I had brought my Series X to Justin's place. So I got it in my suitcase and shit. So I already had missed my flight, didn't know it, but I'm going through security, still trying to hurry. And in TSA pre-check, I throw all my shit up there and go through the thing, and then they were like, hold up, hang on a second, additional screening, he's got sharp shit in his bag. It's got sharp edges and corners and shit, and I was like, oh my god. And they take all my baggage out and all my shit, and they're looking through it.
because Clay had like thrown everything in there.
I had to
Because he was
cram
trying to
everything to
rush.
pack it in there too, because I left with more shit that I came with, because we had to hit the NASA gift shop and all that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Got some dope shit too.
That's right. I got a fire ass hoodie and a couple shirts and shit. I got some crazy ass socks. Anyway, it was all crammed in my suitcase, and these poor no, actually fuck them. They're not poor. They're not poor TSA agents. All right, they pissed me off. They literally pulled my shit out, and then they like struggled to unzip the shit, moved it, and they're pulling all my shit out, and they lifted it out, and they were like, "What the fuck is this? Is this a speaker? Is it a subwoofer?" And I was like, "It's an Xbox." And then they were like, "Oh, word, we had no idea what the hell that was." And I wasn't gonna say shit to nobody, but I was fucking livid. I was standing there, I was like, Jesus Christ.
It was tight.
I was like, I literally paid extra money for TSA pre-check so I wouldn't have to do this shit. And here we are. So anyway, that happens, and I find out I've missed my flight. And at first, I was fucking, I was ready to kill somebody. But then I went up and talked to the lady, and she was like, "Yeah, it left like an hour ago. Where the fuck you been?" And I was like, mad confused. So they had to put me on standby for a flight the next day. I had to call Justin and be like, "Hey Justin, can you turn around and come get me?" And so Justin,
I turned
That
my
flight
ass
left an
around.
hour ago. Where were you? Oh, they had to make sure my Xbox wasn't a fucking bomb. So
right?
No, because
I was so mad.
I was talking to Clay about it, and he was like, "If I wouldn't have gotten stopped at TSA pre-check, I would have made my original flight time."
Right.
Because like he had 20 minutes. He had like a little bit more than 20 minutes to get to his flight.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and if he flies through TSA pre-check, obviously a lot of people aren't flying right now. I was like, he should be able to get there because I mean, Cole, you know, Hobby Airport, like it's a lot smaller than like George Bush. So yeah, it was some bullshit. I drove like 23 minutes out, and then I got a call from Clay. I was like,
Yep.
go hit that Yui.
Spent an extra day.
And I looked at him. I was like, "Well, you want to get to eat?"
Yeah, no, we literally. Plus, we had ended up like that week. We had like we planned on like we were gonna go see this place and this place and this place. Anything that we could do during like pandemic shit, right? And so we looked up. We were like, we're gonna do this, this, and this. We're gonna go to this like the Japanese gardens and this shit. It's gonna be sick, right? And throughout the whole week, like low key, like we did one thing, and then we did like another thing, and like we went to the Space Center, and we were like, and let's just get some food and go back to Justin's place to chill.
This was not a wee thing. This was not a wee thing.
Look,
Because like
okay.
my thing is I told Clay, I was like, "Look, man, it's your vacation. Do it however the fuck you want. Because if I'm not gonna fucking break a sweat if I don't like end up having to drive somewhere and pay some money. Because I just got this apartment. I'm chilling. Like if we don't have to spend shit, we don't have to spend shit."
Yeah.
And Clay straight up, we wake up Friday, and I go, "Hey man, what time do you want to go to the Holocaust Museum? Because we still got to be back by like 8 for some other shit." And he was like, "What if we just get some food and see how we're feeling out the day?"
Yep.
And
We got some fire ass
like,
food and that
he's
shit. That
he's like, "Is that okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. It's your fucking vacation." In the back of my head, I was like, "We ain't going nowhere."
Of course. I knew when I said it.
And play video games.
Of
He wants
course.
to watch the fucking TV shows, which we did. We had a great time.
Yeah, we chilled. We watched all kind of
We
shit.
watched Batman Beyond.
We
fucking
watched-
watched The Dark Knight Returns.
We watched some Optic podcasts. We watched. I showed Justin a couple episodes of like Doctor Who and Band of Brothers and shit. Good all the time.
The Doctor Who shit was actually really good.
Yeah,
I actually want to get into watching Doctor Who now.
it's
And we watched fucking Lakers Celtics.
Yeah, we watched
30
the
for
Lakers
30.
Celtics 30 for 30. We watched that whole ass documentary, which I know Cole's seen that
was
shit
good.
too.
That shit's fucking heat.
No, literally, because The Last Dance, I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all listening or watching this have seen The Last Dance, because The Last Dance was fucking huge when it came out.
And
But-
it's on Netflix.
Yes, but the Lakers Celtics 30 for 30 is literally like it's like the same shit, but it's about the Lakers and Celtics rivalry, and it's like, in my opinion, it's just a little bit better than The Last Dance. It's like up there in terms of like narrative and storytelling and the way they set shit up.
I think it's more better
great.
personally.
I
Just
think,
to
I think
say,
it's
Yeah,
more
I think
better.
The Last Dance is awesome,
in between
but
times,
I don't
which
think The
is-
Last Dance should be 10 hours long. And I maintain that when I watched it the first time, I thought that it's the best of enemies is like 4 hours worth of content. The Lakers versus
Yeah,
Celtics 30 for
roughly.
30. And it is about so much more than what The Last Dance covers in twice, like 2.5 times the amount of time.
Right, yeah. It covers the
The Last
entire,
Dance-
from the 60s all the way to present day, the Bird Magic rivalry, like all the
It's
way
not
up
ju-
through.
It's about the Bird and Magic rivalry, but it's not even because it's about the Lakers and Celtic rivalry.
Exactly.
Even though it's mainly about the
'cause
Bird,
Right.
but it
goes
covers so
super far
much.
back.
Yeah, and anyway, so if you're a fan of sports and sports history and basketball, then I think that
Would
Lakers
recommend.
Celtics one is
That
good,
documentary
but
is so
both
sick.
are awesome. So you should totally
Facts.
watch both because they
Yeah.
both kick ass.
Actually,
So
I watched The Last Dance as well, like right after I watched Lakers Celtics
saw
shit.
I've been
I saw much of The Last Dance. I was like, "Hey Clay, you want to watch The Last Dance?" And he's like, "I got like 20 minutes left on the last episode."
Yeah,
I was like,
no,
"Bitch."
he literally asked me, and he was
I was
like,
"Bitch."
I had been watching the shit while he was at work. So he was like, "Yo, you try to watch that?" I was like, almost over.
yeah, I'm about to do a rewatch myself, no doubt.
That's good shit,
I've been
man.
thinking about it
Yeah, that's kind
about
of
that time.
that's kind of all we were up to, man. We tried to we just chilled. It was kind of like when I went to Cole's place a few months ago, just kind of hanging out with the boys. Whatever good vibes and bad shit we could get up to during the pandemic. Trying to be conscious of that shit, obviously. But yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time with the bros, and hopefully before too long we'll be able to do some shit. The three of us, or I don't know, man. I miss Halo tournaments a whole lot. It's been since November of 19 since I've been to a Halo tournament since my ass missed Anaheim. So
Been a fucking minute. So yeah, but yeah, I guess it's probably about time to wrap this shit up, huh?
sure. Jesse?
Before we go, I just want to
Sorry.
show off this card that I pulled from a Pokemon pack, and it's a $40 card, and Cole, it actually matches your sweatshirt for your fucking jacket. It's called Boss's Orders, and it's just a
That's
fucking
badass.
rainbow art of Giovanni.
Giovanni, yeah, that looks sick.
Yeah.
That's fucking dope. Yeah, check out this dope Team Rocket hoodie that Justin here got me for Christmas, which is pretty dope.
Hey,
Yep.
And
I
I
was
still have
I was
Clay's
in
picture back there.
Houston. I was
Facts.
in Houston about 2 weeks before Clay was, because my wife's family is from around that area. So we were back there.
we
and-
just missed each
but yeah,
other.
Justin was able to give me this in person, which was super nice. Thank you. I
That's
love
see,
you.
see,
And,
that's.
I actually really love this hoodie and I wear it a lot. So
But we were talking about how difficult it was to get all three of us in a Discord call. We literally overlapped in Texas and still didn't get to hang out.
yep,
Yep.
that's how life goes.
It's rough times in this bitch, man. It's
I
rough
saw the
times.
bros.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's
Justin got to
about
see
all.
everybody.
No, straight
Justin
up,
and I got to
though,
chill for like 3 hours, so that was it. But yeah,
no cap though, Cole and Jess are not allowed back in any of my apartments. They straight up brought the bad juju to the fucking. They had Kayla's dog pissing on the floor. The cat threw
don't put
up.
that on me.
There was like a
Don't put it on me.
fucking murder that happened outside or something. They ruined
Dude.
some person's wedding or some shit like that. It was crazy.
We have seen. Small little side note before we end the shit. We have seen a lot of deaths from balconies at Halo tournaments.
Yeah, it's got to have something to do with us at this point.
Yeah, look, man. Literally, too many times somebody. Just short little story here before we wrap shit up. I'm at Cole's place like last July, right? We're out there standing on his
Something like
porch. Cole's got a dope ass porch, right, where you can see like the whole ass like mountains,
Yeah,
like on the
mountains
skyline and shit.
Nice
It's
view
cool.
and-
So we're hanging out there, 7-8 p.m. Not super late, right? And there's like an apartment complex, sort of like across this field over away from Cole's place, right? And literally at one point we like this car pulls up,
Already.
swerves to a stop and shit, and this dude
This
gets
is a
out.
100% true story, bro.
Dude gets out with a baseball bat, right, and starts marching with a purpose across the parking lot, like hauling ass, moving across the
Clay
parking
and I are
lot.
both looking at this like.
We're sitting there just watching his ass, right? Right,
What the
because
fuck?
standing out there, and this fool is hauling ass across the parking lot, and we hear him yell something like, "Where the fuck is this?" or "Where the fuck is my money?" Something along those lines. Like he yells something, and then he
Inquiring
disappears,
about something.
inquiring about something. And so we hear this like general commotion, and then dead ass 2 gunshots, and then we never saw anything else. And then
Quiet.
quiet as shit, and then a little bit
and then
later,
half an hour later, some cops showed
cops rolled up.
It's
and we were like,
okay.
No, but
Yeah,
the same
you heard,
shit.
Like you heard some like banging, some screaming, and then gunshots, and then silence. And I was
Yeah,
like,
no,
oh.
he hit some shit with that baseball bat. He ran in there
Oh,
with
yeah,
that
he did.
baseball bat and hit some shit because there was some commotion. But that specific like
I
that
shouldn't
thing,
laugh. It's not funny, but
Right,
it is funny. 'Cause,
but seeing no, because it was so bizarre. Like, can you imagine like streaming Halo 5 all day and then getting off stream and walking outside, and then just
And then
that shit
seeing that,
happens?
because that's what happened, right? Like that's
But that shit,
Yeah.
like literally, we saw that happen twice in Austin at South by Southwest a couple years ago.
the same weekend. Yeah.
The same weekend, 2 people died. This shit was crazy, bro. I don't know. We're probably cursed. So beware if you come up to us at tournaments because
You might die.
you might die. That may be
Yeah.
well, our dumbass faces might be the last shit you ever see. You look into our eyes and shit. And the second you touch our hands, it's that fucking venom, and you're just fucking dead. That's it. But anyway, we appreciate y'all chilling. Thank you guys for hanging out. Hope you guys
Ending on
enjoyed
a happy note.
our first podcast of 2021. Like I said, or like we said, we're going to try to keep coming at y'all with the podcasts with relative consistency. There's not a whole lot of shit going on right now. But we're going to try to make the best content that we can make, as well as come with some other shit on the wavelengths. But we're going to be trying to sort of work on our process, improve shit here, streamline it, whatever the hell, get better at this before Infinite comes out. So yeah, like I said, hope you guys enjoyed. Remember, subscribe to us on YouTube, Wavelengths everywhere, as well as at WavelengthsCX on Twitter. If you're watching on YouTube, links in the description to go listen to the shit. We're on Spotify, Apple Music, all that shit. We're everywhere. If you're listening to this shit, go check us out on YouTube. Let us know what you want to talk about. If you got any suggestions for what you want to talk about, we love you guys. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.